That's your
Push
face.
this button right there. Push
See,
that
look,
button.
and you see what I'm seeing?
There where your
See
finger's
that?
at.
That's taking video. She's teaching him.
All right, hold on. No, put your eye up there. Put your eye up there. No, watch. I'll push it for you.
The devotions morning and evening with our group were absolutely amazing. It was really nice to go through each chapter of the book that we had read prior to leaving, and to really connect with the Word with our group.
Where you walk through the village, where Andrea and Sheila would sit down and just read the Bible stories, because I was making these balloons going insane, blowing those balloons and all. That was totally different than anything. Then I realized that's how the early disciples, that's what they did. They got a few people together and they did what they had to do, or what they did. And then they went on and did some in other places. I thought, boy, this is really a throwback to the original way people went out.
These people that really have so little and they're content. They don't want for anything. They don't feel like they're missing anything or they're lacking anything. And you know, the things that we take for granted. We assume that we should have health care. We assume that we're going to have access to health care. I mean, I'm not even talking insurance, like that we will have a doctor that we can go to, and these people lack that. Clean water, running water, indoor plumbing, just basic things that we take for granted and are such an assumption in America. They don't have, but they don't feel like they're shortchanged. And when I got back, my husband said to me, "You can't feel bad for them." And I said, "I don't. I feel bad for us because we're the ones that are really so uncontent with all that we have, and these people are so blessed by so little."
Spanishville was quite scary to start with. Miss Kathy kicked us out of the van and we did something way out of our comfort zone. But once we got in there, it was absolutely amazing. It was really great to be able to talk with the people in Spanish. And we actually visited 3 houses where we read books in Spanish. We talked with the families, and as a result, all 3 of the mothers came the next day with their children to the Bible study, the women's Bible study. It was great.
When I was working construction in Belize, it was odd at first because we aren't exactly the manual labor kind of people, I mean, if you know me. So watching them at first was probably actually the best thing because we got to see how they worked, what they did, what tools they were using, and how they kind of just reacted to everything that was going on around them. Like when they were pulling boards out of this house and there was just rats and actually poisonous centipedes falling out of there, and they were pretty okay with that. We were kind of like, alright, so I guess everything's okay, we can go ahead, and we did, and they would more or less give us the okay to do it. Like, instead of just jumping in like we tried at first, which didn't work at all, not so much, we would wait for them to kind of give us a cue to come in and help pull some nails, rip out the boards. We did a lot of more of the demolishing. We ripped everything apart, we took a lot of the nails out, and they did a lot of the actual skilled, you know, putting everything back together and making sure that everything was perfect. And that's more or less how it went the whole time.
Some sat in darkness, prisoners suffering in iron chains, for they have rebelled against the words of God, despised the counsel of the Most High.
The women's Bible study was absolutely amazing. It actually ended up turning into 2 sessions a day rather than 1 because we realized that the Garifuna people had a division amongst them, I guess, and we ended up meeting at Harriet's house, and it was absolutely amazing.
going to Belize offered a lot more of an experience than simply being able to serve people in St. Bite. It also offered a really good opportunity to connect with other people at Emmanuel that I probably otherwise wouldn't have. When we left here and all met in Chicago to leave for Belize, I was essentially going to a foreign country with a dozen strangers, people I really didn't know, and if I did know them, it wasn't well. And I came back and my family had grown by a dozen people. These people came back, and there are people in that group that I consider to be like my brothers. There are people in that group that I consider to be like my sisters. And I'm so blessed that Joan Shellen has taken me on also as her daughter. So
Anyone can do this, and it doesn't matter what age you are. You can be young or you can be old, but you can go ahead and serve in a totally different way than what you're used to. And so it's, everything is new in a way, and which is good, especially for people who are older. And to really give back what your life has given, what God has given to you throughout your entire life.
What did you get out of being in Belize?
Way too much to explain in one short video, that's for sure. It really made me look at myself though, and kind of just think, wow, this is real, and it's sad because when I went back, I felt bad. I felt like I didn't need almost any of the things that I had, and I felt bad, and it was actually kind of hard to come back and go to work and then go to school, and it was a very eye-opening experience, and it was different, and I loved it, and I would do it again, absolutely.
People of Emmanuel, I would like to say thank you. I wish I could explain to you the works that you and the Lord have created through me this trip. I can show you a picture of a smile, but I can't really explain to you what good you have done for me and for the people down there through that picture, because in the end it's just a picture. I was very afraid of change before I went. I liked who I was, and I didn't mind the sin that I was doing. I felt no regret. I learned in a third world country though, people go through the same problems as me, just on a different scale. If you know your life isn't going in the right direction you want it to, you need to be with us. If you feel worthless and you don't make a difference, and you would like to, you need to be with us. And if you have a flash of doubt that miracles exist and that the Lord does great works, you really need to be with us. I learned 1, people make mistakes, 2, God will forgive you, and 3, God does love you. So step out of the boat like Peter and come with us. I'd like to end with James chapter 1, verses 2 through 6. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work, so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking in anything. If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. But when you ask, you must believe and not doubt, because the one who doubts is like a wave in the sea, blown and tossed by the wind. Thank you.